She moves so slow, man. Oh, is this gonna be the whole rest of the game? Oh, I'm getting a text on my Nokia? I swear to God, if this is a text telling me about the Claymores, I'm gonna be so pissed off. Motherfuck. Today we're playing Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. But first, just 10 seconds of backstory if you're just joining us. I'm playing every single Metal Gear game in timeline order, not release order. So instead of doing it like this, I'm doing it like this. Subscribe if you want to watch me continue this descent into madness game by game. The game begins with us aura farming on a bridge over the Hudson River. Solid Snake is back, baby, and he's still the coolest man alive. It's like rain on your wedding day. He's infiltrating this tanker to get some good pictures of a new model of
Metal Gear Rain.
This time made by the US government. It's going to be a simple sneaking operation, but immediately the boat gets hijacked by Russian spec ops.
Russians? You sure?
Oh, yeah. Russian. And now, the real game begins. We run around a bit before immediately getting caught. Snake kinda cheek, man. We stuff a nerd into a locker, open a door, run around the ship like a dozen times because I got lost already. Solid Snake, more like lots of cake. We stuff another nerd into another locker. I try to hide among the produce, but I was in a box of oranges when I should have been in a box of watermelons, so they find me. I make my way to the captain's quarters where I find the captain has been murdered. So then who's steering the boat? Then we meet a woman, one of my Twitch chatters referred to as Smelly Smolga with the hairy armpits. Hard to imagine why. Anyway, we shoot her with enough tranquilizers to stop a herd of elephants. Also, what are the effects of excessive tranquilizers on pregnant women? We're gonna talk about that. The long-lasting effects. I don't think that's safe. We do the right thing by stealing her firearm.
Hey, Snake, you found a handgun.
We do a little dance, and then we go down, down, down to the bottom of the ship. Any goodies in here for me? Oh, nope, that's not a goodie. I don't want that. I stuff myself into a locker like the nerd I am, then make my way through the bowels of the ship. You okay? We get into a quick gunfight before we make it to a very strange movie room. Oh, wait. Does that guy have just underwear on? We have a sneak around as these guys watch a movie that changes screens every 30 seconds. They scare the shit out of me with this bit. Wait, no, I was sneaking! Oh, it's fine. Finally, we reach Metal Gear Raid. Oh my god, it's Metal Gear! Where we need to take a series of photos in different angles. I know he told me which angles he needed, but I forgot almost immediately. I get the pictures we need and upload them to Otacon's app. Snake? Did you know that you could use my app to subscribe to Sir Roland? You'll get to see really cool videos like this one. What do you mean you're not already subscribed? Do that right now. Thanks for watching. As soon as I hit send, who would show up other than Ocelot? We get a couple peeks at his baby photos. Ocelot does a classic crisscross, shows us he's working with the Patriots, and then blows up the ship. And I almost forgot to mention that Ocelot has Liquid's arm now, and he's sort of possessed Ocelot's body, I guess. Does he have the
brother?
What?
Who are you?
Moving on, Metal Gear Ray wakes up, takes a drink of water, uses Bubble Beam, and Snake dies. The end.
Snake!
Just kidding, that was just the prologue. Snake turns into a frog 2 years and 6 hours after the tanker blew up. This is where the real game begins. Now we're on a cleanup facility known as the Big Shell. Russian terrorists have taken over the rig because it wouldn't be a Metal Gear game if they hadn't. We get a new codename right as we start, and it's revealed we're sort of an expert in VR missions.
I've completed 300 missions in VR.
Also, if you couldn't tell, we're not the same Snake. We see a man who looks slightly familiar. I turn off my PC the only way I know how. I can't hear a damn thing in this mask, so we take it off and aura farm so freaking hard.
Terrorists call themselves Sons of Liberty.
They said it! That's the name of the game! Anyway, the first thing we do is slip and birch it. I learn how to punch drywall like the Kyle I was always born to be, hide under a desk like it's an earthquake drill in the 2nd grade. I ran around Strut F warehouse longer than I care to admit before putting a man to sleep on a bridge. And then it's back to PTSD simulator as we watch a literal fucking vampire kill people right in front of our very eyes. We get saved by a masked man who reveals himself as...
My name is Pliskin.
Raiden reveals that he's ranked number 1 in Metal Gear Solid speedruns, and then Pliskin tells us about Vamp, who is just a normal Romanian guy who is called Vamp because he's bisexual.
Vamp isn't for vampire, it's because he's bisexual.
We also learn about Dead Cell, but I don't want to ruin the surprise, so we'll get there when we get there. Here, we meet Fortune, who has some very specific instructions.
Come.
She has a cool superpower where she can't get shot. Vamp takes the president, and Fortune decimates everyone on the bridge. And the bridge. This guy was probably going to be okay, though. This seagull won't be. Our girlfriend keeps calling us Jack. Why is she on this mission anyway? We run around the bathroom, look at our own reflection, kind of caked up, and we're off to meet
Peter Stillman.
who accidentally blew up a church and lost his leg in the process. I make a great first impression.
What's your name?
My name's Peter Stillman. Shit.
That's an odd name.
My girlfriend tells me that I can defuse bombs with the power of belief. Turns out all I need to do is hit it with some freezer juice and the bomb will turn off. Thanks, Rose. We use our smell-o-vision to detect the bombs around the compound. There are 12 bombs on the shell to defuse. Pliskin's taking 6, which leaves us with 6 on our own. Peter Stillman isn't coming with us because of the aforementioned missing leg. Finding the bombs is its own special hell. The first one in the bathroom was plenty easy. Just look into the mirror. The second one took me 10 minutes in playing hot cold with Twitch chat. The other 3 were fine, I guess. It took a while to get to them, but most of that is just me being bad at video games and not necessarily the game design. Soon, we get a phone call from a familiar voice.
There are Claymore mines around there.
Deep Throat tells me about stealth claymores, so I use the time-honored tradition of laying on top of them until they absorb into my skin. Then I get another call from my girlfriend. Rose, I don't know if you know this, but there's a fucking bomb about to go off. I'm gonna have to call you back. Olga is, in fact, alive because they wouldn't kill a pregnant woman in this video game. She flips off the building and we find the next bomb strapped to a $32 million jet. Peter Stillman drops the biggest bomb of all time, no pun intended.
I can walk just fine.
That he lied about losing his leg in the explosion all those years ago. The most easily verifiable lie he could have told. And a life where he's never able to wear shorts.
Just don't ask for Peg Leg Peter. He's gone for good.
That was your nickname? Peg Leg Peter? Anyway, we give a soldier a hug from behind before finding the last and final bomb. Pliskin gets his last bomb and...
The big ones were rigged to be activated when all the baby C4s went offline.
With mere minutes to spare, I cartwheel my way to the real last bomb, using CQC on anyone dumb enough to try and stop me. I hide in a locker to give myself a more dramatic countdown clock. Peter Stillman runs out of time. I also run out of time, which is less exciting, but God gives his favorite children second chances, and with a mere 160 seconds I freeze the hidden bomb. Our next objective is to
Rescue the president.
but this goal is cut short when Fortune arrives. So with all these sea critters, man, little sea bugs. I try desperately to do anything to damage Fortune, but it simply can't be done, being that bullets don't want to touch her. I hold out for as long as I can. Fortunately, a more shootable target comes down the elevator in the form of Vamp. I make John Constantine proud by opening a window into Vamp's forehead and decide I have better things to do than to watch a woman cry. I backtrack back to the place I was before I backtrack, which is the Harrier location on the top of Strut E. On this helipad, I find a special package addressed for me, but when I freeze it, an absolute unit of a man roller skates his way to me, offers me a sip of his cranberry juice. Damn, he is gulping through that straw. And the real battle begins. This was easily the most fun boss fight I've had in a Metal Gear game. I love the mechanics. I love the character of Fat Man. He seems like a Batman villain that was thrown in the trash. And one day, Kojima was out for a walk and found him alone, dejected, and said, "I'll take you in, child." After I beat Fat Man, he tells me that there's one last final bomb, the biggest and the lastest one yet. I ask where it is, but he won't tell me. I get so mad that I want to grab him and shake him. But when I do, the bomb falls out of his pants pocket. Problem solved. We get a sick flip from Deep Throat, who tells us the location of the person who knows the location of the president, and the titular Metal Gear is also here on the big shell. Deep Throat gives us a Nokia, and off we go to save the president. I try to get on in the elevator while wearing my disguise, but they see right through it because I'm not carrying my gun. I then spend the next several minutes fighting every man who dare challenge me. Why? I have no idea. We track all the way back to Strut F warehouse to get my special gun. I successfully ride the elevator down into Shell's core, making a mess of the next room, but it's okay because I expertly hide in plain sight until the alert wears off. I throw a guard over my shoulder and scan his eyeball with the machine doohickey. What did I write? We located the hostages, one of which is the hostage we actually care about. We need to listen to his pacemaker using the directional microphone. I didn't grab the microphone, did I? It's in B2, isn't it? It's in B2, man.
Have you searched B2 of the core?
Fuck you. I go up the elevator, find the directional mic. I go back down the elevator. I scan another man's eyeball with the machine doohickey, and the real task can begin. We're listening for a pacemaker, but I have no idea what it sounds like. It looks like they would have a pacemaker. So I spend a ridiculous amount of time running around this little area listening to everyone's heart. I try to interact with this man here, and instead I slip like he's made of banana peels. Eventually, I find the right man with the bomb in his chest, and the real dialogue begins.
Republic, hence Sons of Liberty, I suppose.
That's the name of the game, he said it! He tells me that the president was moved to Shell 2, so that's where I'm going. But first, he gives me a special surprise.
Search my pocket. Hurry.
Not that pocket, right? My lower pocket. And we get stopped by Ocelot, who then gets stopped by Deep Throat. We make our escape, and I get knocked on my ass by a locker like some kind of nerd. There's this spot on the bridge where we need to take out all the bombs before continuing. I tried to use my pistol, but it didn't work. Do you want to know why I used my pistol? Because I forgot / didn't know to grab the sniper rifle. So I run back to Strut F warehouse, picked up the sniper rifle, and ran all the way back to the bridge. With my new sniper, I admired the terrorist logo. Cool flag. Guess for a bunch of terrorists. Shot all the bombs and made my way to Shell 2. But wait, we see Solid Snake in his helicopter, and is that Solid Snake?
No, that is not Solid Snake.
Oh, okay then. I really don't know what to say about this scene, so I'll let my live reaction do the talking. Is that a fucking vampire flying a jet with a dude standing on top of it? What the fuck? I spend a lot of time fighting the jet, but eventually I hit it with enough rockets that a Metal Gear emerges from the water to chomp on it. What? Solidus calls on Vamp like a Pokemon.
Vamp, go!
I try to climb something that looks climbable, but it was not, so I hit a sick jump instead. I get a text on my Nokia, and finally, we make it into Shell 2. The Shell 2 core is flooded, so it's time to get our feet wet. It's almost like we should have kept our breathing mask from the beginning of the game. We get some quick diving lessons, and then it's on to swimming. Eventually, though, we find John President. He does what all modern presidents do, and then he tells us he's just a puppet for the Patriots. He flashes me, images in my head, I mean. Then he tells us to kill him for all his crimes against humanity. Ocelot, unfortunately, beats us to it. And then Hal asks us to find Emma, his little sister, who is for some reason also on this rig. We swim a bit longer, get reunited with Peter Stillman. Oh my god! No, it's, what was his name? Peter. Swim even more and walk in on Vamp doing the monster mash. He tries to seduce me, doesn't work, and then we have to kill him for real this time. He's tricky, he's fast, he throws shiny things on the ground that render you unable to move, but if there's one thing the vampires are weak to, it's carbonated water. Guess what we get to do next? More swimming. We find Emma. She's stuffed in a locker like the nerd she is. She can't swim, which is a huge fucking problem when everything is covered in water. This whole section, we need to hold her hand to move her anywhere. You move slow as hell, can't do sick cartwheels, and overall, it's a really bad time. She yaps for a while, then remembers that her bird is in the computer room.
Hey. Yes. I want my bird.
More swimming. Then we get to a section where bugs litter the floor. Emma can't stand bugs, won't even go near them if I'm dragging her by the hand. We need to get by the bugs to get into the elevator, so I do the only sensible thing I could think of. Yeah. Chill, we got the bugs, didn't? No, we didn't. Hey. We get there. We take Emma through this entire goddamn facility, but it's all worth it when she gives us the level 5 keycard. We climb down a ladder and have to play Overwatch with our sniper rifle while Emma gets to the other side. It's a fun section and not too difficult. I mean, it was fun until who else shows up but fucking Vamp again. He takes a child hostage and we try to put yet another bullet in his body. Task failed successfully. We make our way to Snake, Hal, and the now bleeding Emma. With the disc inserted, the virus can begin, and with Emma's dying breath, she tells her big brother that she's always had a crush on him. Hal cries over his sister, immediately followed up by the biggest bro shake known to man. Huh? And then he cries again. Snake's working with Cyborg Ninja, who turns out to be Olga. Why, how, what, when, I don't know why, but she knocks out Raiden. Raiden wakes up in a torture chamber because it's not Metal Gear unless you're bleeding and tied up. Solidus is here, now with Doc Ock arms, which he uses to touch me for some reason. Olga turns out to be a good guy, tells us about the Metal Gears, plural. We escape our prison, but there's something missing, I just can't put my finger on it. We run around full cheeks for a while. The Colonel and Rose tell me things my parents used to say.
Will ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV.
Actually, I'm in really bad shape financially.
Rose tells me she's carrying a baby inside her belly. I'm going to be a dad. She hangs up, Snake shows up. Bro, I'm in a hallway with my balls out. This is not the time for aura farming. I get my clothes back and have a sweet Mall Ninja sword. I think it's criminal that they give this to you at the very end of the game. Snake and I fight our way through waves of bad guys, though Snake does most of the work here. Somewhere along the way, I mail the fission. My screen turns tiny, so I hit my TV really hard until it starts working. Fortune shows up, and I, the one with the sword, leaves Snake, the one with the gun to fight the woman who can't be shot by bullets. Up above, I do flips while Solid as monologues, and then I fight 6 more Metal Gears than I did in Metal Gear Solid 1. Olga tries to save the day, fails. I get a big hug from my dad. Ocelot shows up and tells us he's betraying everyone. Ocelot shoots Fortune. Her bullet deflecting ability wasn't real after all. Arsenal Gear gets isekai'd into Federal Hall.
And we will become.
The AI Colonel calls us, he got a makeover, and we get a 10-minute codec call right before the final battle. And the final battle can begin. We fight with katanas on the roof. He cheats with his flamethrower arms, but that's okay because my will to live is simply stronger. Mr. Snake falls down a long way, looks up to Benjamin Franklin, and dies. It's a normal day in New York, judging by all the people walking around while 2 ninjas have a pep talk, and I finally learn my own name. John A.K. Jr., baby. That's me. Rose shows up. I ask her if the child is mine.
I wouldn't know.
And finally, we beat Metal Gear Solid 2. So that was Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty and my first time playing. An absolute masterpiece of confusion, control, and completely unhinged video game storytelling. I laughed. I sword fought my dad. I got my pants back. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe because next up is Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot. I also stream all of this on twitch.tv/Sir Roland. Come hang out and tell me if there's anything in this game that made sense to you. Peace.